I know that even the thought of looking for a martial arts school can be overwhelming, let alone finding the best for your child. Does the thought of your child gaining self-confidence, self-respect, respect for others, and a do-it-for-the-first-time attitude interest you? Have these character traits been something that you have been thinking about for your child? If so, I think you're going to find the next few minutes of this video very interesting. Why? Because over the next several minutes, you'll discover all the answers to the 5 costly misconceptions parents like you have about choosing a martial arts school for their child, and the 5 key critical questions to ask a school before you make a commitment to join one. Sadly, without this information, many people wind up choosing a poorly qualified martial arts school, and sometimes even worse, having such a negative experience that martial arts is something they never try again. And fortunately, armed with the information you're about to learn in the rest of this short video, you can feel comfortable knowing the martial arts school you do choose for your family and the experience you will have will both be top-notch. What most parents don't realize about martial arts is that having a good experience and reaping its tremendous character-building benefits has as much to do with the school you choose to join as it does about the instructors themselves. This is why the same diligence should go into choosing a martial arts school that goes into choosing the right elementary school for your child. In fact, some parents even pray for their child to get a good teacher. After all, martial arts can have lifelong positive benefits or ramifications on your child, depending on whether you make the right choice in schools. This is why finding a highly qualified, professionally run martial arts school is so important. Unfortunately, though, this is not always an easy task. Finding a qualified school amongst the sea of so-called martial arts practitioners out there who will help your child instead of damage your child, as well as conduct themselves professionally, can be quite tricky. So, how do you ensure you choose the right martial arts school? Well, let's first cover the 5 costly misconceptions parents have when choosing a martial arts school, and then we'll cover the 5 critical questions to ask a school before you make a commitment to join one. Most parents believe that martial arts promotes violence, when in fact quite the opposite is true. Although martial arts does teach kicking and punching, a well-managed martial arts school uses it more as an avenue for teaching life skills. For example, increased confidence, self-esteem, discipline, energy, and spirit, academic success, avoiding peer pressure, staying fit, and living a healthy lifestyle. Oh, and yes, all of this comes from learning how to kick, punch, and block. Here, look at it this way. Your child's first and biggest challenge comes not from fighting for his rights on the street or beating up the neighborhood bully, but it comes instead from battling more sinister forces, his own fears and self-doubt. The question is, how do you get your child to fight these things? You know the problem. Your child has a rough time even telling you he's haunted by them, never mind how he might conquer them. Well, the good news is that a well-run martial arts school will teach all these benefits I mentioned before, plus how and when to hit and practical ways to control anger. The second misconception parents have about martial arts is that there must be one specific style that is the best for my child to learn. And that's not true at all. There is no one style or art that could have everything necessary to develop your child physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially. However, one martial arts school could have a little bit of all areas of training necessary for developing your child's ultimate potential. For instance, one school could teach stranger danger, bully-safe skills, character development, goal setting, stand-up self-protection, on-the-ground self-protection, verbal diffusion skills, wrist locks, and joint holds. A professionally well-run martial arts school should be able to provide these benefits in the program, and in fact, they are essential. Thirdly, a misconception parents have about martial arts schools is that all schools teach Eastern philosophy in their program. No, that couldn't be further from the truth. It is true that some do, but not all. And those that do not teach the normally associated Eastern mysticism in their program choose to teach martial arts techniques as just physical techniques. And instead of Eastern mysticism, they put a greater emphasis on strong morals and strong values such as honesty, integrity, self-discipline, gratitude, family values, friendship, and much more. The fourth misconception is a real worry for most parents, and it has to do with getting hurt from doing martial arts training because of free sparring, or what might better be known as simulated fighting for points. Like in any physical sport, there always exists the possibility of an injury, but a well-run martial arts school will have very few, and this is especially true for today with all the safety equipment being used. However, safety goes well beyond equipment, and here is where school policy and the instructor's training and knowledge play a vital role in your child's safety. In the schools where free sparring or simulated fighting is used, it is imperative that the student be ready for this type of activity. Too many times a non-professional school will have the students start to spar even after their first couple of weeks of training. Now, how ridiculous is that? How can anyone, let alone a child, be expected to do such an activity when they don't even know how to block and defend? They haven't even developed the control with their body to be able to throw kicks and punches yet either. This is where choosing the right school is critical. Martial arts training, if conducted properly, is very safe and can build tremendous character. With regard to the fifth misconception parents have, this one is a little more touchy. Why? Because it has to do with your pocketbook. Some parents believe that if a martial arts school costs less and has a shorter time commitment, that they can get the same training for less money and they don't have to make a long-term commitment. Now, I won't go into specific prices here due to the differences in various parts of the country. However, you should find out the prices for each of the schools you visit. Use them as a guide, but not necessarily major criteria for your choice. Finding the right school for your child is the #1 priority. Remember when your parents would say, "You get what you pay for"? So, if the better school costs a few dollars a month more, it's well worth it. Remember, listen to your parents. You see, the average child in a well-run martial arts school will participate for several years, but in a poorly run school, one that lacks motivation, has a militaristic attitude, one that is boring or has unplanned classes, or is just too difficult, the average child may only stay for a few months. Many schools offer programs ranging from 1 month to several years in duration. Now, provided your child has attended an introductory session, I would recommend a course of 9 to 12 months initially, and after completing 3 months to 1 year of the initial beginner's program, you can now extend to a 3 or 4 year black belt program. Month-to-month programs in a school I do not recommend, and for many reasons. For instance, let's suppose that the instructor has a strong belief in the martial arts. They know the importance of the many character benefits a child will build in a good martial arts school. They also understand that Rome wasn't built in a day, and a child will need time to eat, digest, and become nourished from these benefits. It would be horrible to steal from a child the chance to improve their self-confidence, self-respect, respect for others, and a chance to learn how to have a do-it-the-first-time attitude by enrolling them in a short-term course. I agree, your child needs to try things out first to see if they will like them. But most new students will quit during the first year of training if their parents don't make a commitment for them to stay. And here's why. The initial excitement and intrigue may wear off. The student may realize that the training is slightly more difficult than they thought it was going to be. Or they may hit a sticky point or plateau in their training that they believe they can't overcome. But here is the key. Most children stay with the martial arts for a long time, again, in a good program, if they get past the first year of training. And this is where you will start to see even more growth in your child. This is why they need both a commitment and support of their parents and their instructor, not for the short term, but for the long haul. I firmly believe that if an instructor really believes in the benefits of the martial arts, they will refuse to offer short-term programs. As I said before, character traits can't be built in a day, just as Rome wasn't. Well, by now, you're wondering, how in the world do I choose the right school for me and my family? Well, there are 2 ways you can go about doing this. The second approach is the one we recommend. However, so you can make an informed decision, let's talk about both. First, you need to do your homework on all the schools in your area. What do I mean by that? Well, first you need to look them all up on the web and in the phone book and write them all down on a sheet of paper. Next, you need to call them all and ask them 5 specific questions. Question number 1 is, do you have age-specific programs that target my child's age? You see, in an age-specific program, your child will train in an environment that is just right for them. They will train with other children in their age group and not have to be limited or overwhelmed by younger and older children. Question number 2 is, do you have a free introductory program? It's important that you and your child get to try out the school for at least 2 to 4 classes for free in order to know if that school is right for you. The third question you need to ask the schools is, do children ever fail a test during the first 6 to 12 months of training? Personally, I believe that schools should have systems in place that make it almost impossible for a child to fail. A check and balance system, if you will. Plus, in the beginning of your child's training, his attitude is more important than the martial arts techniques. And obviously, failing a test for a new student does nothing for high self-esteem and self-confidence. Now, believe me, I am not advocating that a child should not fail if they don't know their stuff, but a well-run school should have little to none of that. The next question to ask is, do the instructors work from a structured lesson plan, and may I see it? Most martial arts instructors wing it. Some are great black belts, but when it comes to organizing a structured learning environment, they seem to be missing the boat. Why is this important? Well, just think about your favorite teacher that you've learned from. What made him or her great in your eyes? It was not how much they knew, was it? No, it was how much they could motivate you to learn. Plus, they probably had a structured lesson plan that they worked from and were not winging it. Lastly, you must ask, do you just teach kicking and punching? Or do you have a systemized character development program to teach and build strong character in and out of the karate school? And if yes, may I see it? A professional school will teach way more than kicking and punching, while some school owners will tell you, yes, we teach character development. And they are right, some do. The majority of them have no clue how they do it. What do I mean? You see, martial arts in and of itself does teach some character development, but most schools stop there. And this really means that they're teaching character development by accident and not by design. You want to make sure that the school you choose is not just a kick and punch school, but one that not only teaches character development, but does it by design with a structured character development program. And make sure that you ask to see it as well. Now, once you've done your homework here and have chosen the schools that have said yes to all the above questions, the next step is to visit them. Arrange a consultation with schools in your area that fit the criteria, and during these consultations, you want to interview each school to find out if what they said on the phone and what you see in front of you is the same thing. Again, you want to make sure you only work with a highly qualified school. Lastly, if you choose to take this homework approach, you'll want to take an introductory lesson with all the schools and also discuss a little bit about why you think martial arts would benefit your child. And this is a crucial step in the selection process. Finally, once you've done all your homework and have narrowed everything down to one school that is best for your child and one school owner qualified enough to deliver it for you, you can then proceed with confidence. But again, if you choose to go this homework route, be sure you've truly taken your time and done your due diligence. Now, if this approach to finding a highly qualified martial arts school who can deliver all the things that you are looking for seems like an incredible amount of work, you're not alone. Most people feel the same way about finding a martial arts school on their own, which is the exact reason why we recommend approach number 2 for ensuring you have the best possible martial arts experience for your child and family. Approach number 2 is simple, quick, and doesn't require any homework on your part. What is it? It's working side by side with properly selected instructors in our martial arts school. And here's why. Because we have done all the due diligence and hard work for you. of training the absolutely most qualified martial arts instructor in your area. You can feel comfortable knowing that the instructors selected to build your child up in our school have been properly and thoroughly trained, are complete professionals, and have had plenty of hands-on experience working with a variety of students. And, best of all, using the experienced professional instructors in our school ensures that your child will have the best martial arts experience possible. Because we've done all of the selection work for you. You don't have to make any phone calls to schools, schedule time-consuming interviews, or worry about whether you're making the right decision. We have done all of the work for you. All that's left for you is to enjoy the tremendous physical, emotional, and mental benefits of our professional martial arts school and instructors. If that's something you're interested in doing, here's what you should do right now. Simply fill out the form below for a complimentary martial arts consultation certificate. You'll instantly be given the certificate that allows you to take advantage of a risk-free consultation in our school to make sure you're comfortable with us. Once you fill out the form below and receive your instant martial arts certificate, simply pick up the phone and call our school with the phone number listed in your certificate. Let our staff know you're calling to schedule your complimentary martial arts consultation, and they'll find the most convenient appointment for you possible. So, go ahead, fill out the form below, and get ready to experience the best message of your life.